Howdy, my name's Cloudy. Welcome back to the channel. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't check out my last video, keep checking out my last video. You know what I'm saying? Today, we got a video from the Cosmic Wonder. Marvel is erasing Phase 4 and 5.
So it looks like Marvel Studios might have made some major changes to what their plans were for Avengers Doomsday, including rewriting a decent amount of the script if this new report ends up being true. In fact, according to this report, Marvel might simply say that everything that happened after Avengers Endgame was not canon, which is a really...
That's a big jump. To say all those movies after Endgame ain't canon, and now you're making Avengers Doomsday. So, okay, so does that mean Spider-Man 4 is going to be the first movie to lead into Avengers Doomsday and all the other movies after that? Because Spider-Man 4 is coming out first, right? I'm not tripping, right? Or is it coming out? Bro, they keep switching. Bro, if Spider-Man is coming out before Avengers Doomsday, that means Spider-Man 4 is the first movie a part of the phase. It's the beginning of the phase, pretty much. So does that mean the Spider-Man movies too have nothing to do? Bro, how they gonna explain all this?
Crazy thing to think about, but according to this new report, Marvel Studios has the plans ready to go. And this is coming from the same person who stated that Robert Downey Jr. was threatening to quit Avengers Doomsday due to the script not being so good. So let's dive into what they say Marvel Studios is planning on doing now. So this report is apparently coming from the YouTuber Doomcock, who I have heard has been right about things in the past, but of course with all leaks, take it with a grain of salt, as of course there is a chance that it might not happen, and things change a lot as well. But according to this YouTuber, Marvel has some big changes in store for Avengers Doomsday. They state, according to multiple sources and sources not ours, the new plan for Doomsday is the movie will pick up after Endgame, making all movies and shows.
Bro, I don't know how to feel about this, bro. So is Spider-Man 4 not coming out before Avengers Doomsday? Apparently, you know what I'm saying? Bro, them erasing all of this right before they're about to do Avengers Doomsday, bro, I feel like it's a bad thing. Because now they pretty much have no story. Like, at all. Like, 4 or 5, bro, that was a story. Even though the storyline wasn't as good as y'all wanted it to be, y'all put it out, you know what I'm saying? And it led into some other stories, you know what I'm saying? Like, it gave us loose ends and everything like that connected into other movies and stuff. So now that y'all erasing all of that, is there, okay, now that they're erasing everything, is there going to be like a bunch of new characters and heroes that pop up and shit too? Or is it going to be like, can that mean characters that died is coming back? That's the biggest question. All the characters that pretty much died in Phase 4 and 5, bro, they all have a possibility of coming back. I could see that being a good thing for Marvel, you know what I'm saying? Having some of these characters pop back up. That's probably why they decided to erase 4 and 5, because they like, bro, we need some of these characters to kind of make the story better. And maybe this was the only way they could do it, you know what I'm saying? Without having to go through the whole bringing them back to life thing, you know what I mean? And they had to explain that. Now they ain't got to explain. They just be like, bro, 4 and 5 didn't happen, so I don't even know what y'all talk about.
Endgame, non-canon. It will pick up on the real Captain America and his desire to live a life with Peggy, writing a completely new future.
That's so crazy.
We are still working to get more details about this, so a lot of my time was just... More is coming soon. So that first line says that they have their own details about this. Peggy, writing a completely new future.
Oh, bad, yeah.
And shows after Endgame, non-canon. It will pick up on the real Captain America and his desire to live a life with Peggy, writing a completely new future. We are still working.
So are we getting the Captain America and Peggy movie, bro? Or Steve Rogers and Peggy Carter movie? Because if he's saying that and we erasing 4 and 5, bro, we gotta have a story that leads into Doomsday, bro, if it's not gonna be Spider-Man 4. So is that possibly going to be a Captain America movie? Another one, at least from the perspective of him going back to go see, you know, to live with Peggy again and everything like that. Is there going to be, are they trying to say like this might be a secret movie they putting out before Avengers Doomsday? Or is it going to be like a TV show or something like that? A TV show wouldn't be too bad. Or is this going to be a part of the Avengers Doomsday movie? Like they going to, like the first hour of the movie is going to be showing Steve Rogers living with Peggy and everything. We need to know these things,
get
bro.
More details about this, so more is coming soon. So that first line says that they have their own sources and then sources that are not theirs, meaning they've heard this from other people as well. Like other insiders have heard this and stated this. And they basically state that they're kind of making this about Captain America, specifically the actual Captain America from the end of Avengers Endgame. And the crazy part about this is it does line up with everything that we've been hearing recently, including the new reports that Chris Evans and Haley Atwell just shot scenes and are currently shooting scenes on the Avengers Doomsday set. Plus, we have seen Chris Evans recently, and he is looking Captain America jacked. He's in incredibly good shape, the shape that he's usually in to play Captain America. But the biggest thing is that it says it's going to make all movies and shows after Endgame non-canon. And
that's what confuses me, because I'm like, bro, it's kind of messed up because they just gave Sam Wilson the shield, bro, and now they saying, bro, that wasn't real. That's pretty much what they saying, bro. You just had a little dream. Wake up. You know what I'm saying? That's messed up. That means the Red Hulk didn't really happen. Because if it ain't canon, bro, it didn't happen. That's just how I see it, bro. If it ain't canon, it didn't happen. So Sam Wilson never became who he is. The Thunderbolts still a part of this, bro? They got a lot of explaining to do, bro. It's a lot of things that came out after Endgame, bro. So which ones are still canon and which ones aren't? Are they saying all of them don't matter no more, bro? That means we kind of wasted our time watching those movies, bro. Not gonna lie. I love Marvel, but we watch them because we think they are part of the story, really, you know? I mean, the movies is good, but now that you're saying it's not a part of the story, it's like, bro, we could have skipped those, bro, if you wanted to keep on with, you know? What was the point of this, bro?
Interpreted a few different ways, but despite how you take this, I don't think it means that everything that we have seen so far since Endgame is not going to matter. I think some of it is not going to matter, but they basically are going to be able to pick and choose some of them, what matters and what just is completely irrelevant. For example, Loki's story I'm pretty sure Marvel wants a clean slate on Secret Invasion. That was one of the worst shows, and Secret Invasion, the event in the comics, is one of the biggest events in Marvel history, and it was nothing like what they did in the MCU. So I'm sure they'll want to say that's not canon. In fact, I'm sure a lot of fans would love them to say that that's not canon. But then you have to think about stories like Loki and WandaVision. Those seem way too big to simply say, oh, those aren't canon to the MCU. They aren't connected to the real MCU story, when I think very clearly they are. And also movies like Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness and the Fantastic Four and the Thunderbolts. That's what I'm saying, like, bro, clearly are going to be connected to the overall MCU canon, because Marvel's president Kevin Feige has already confirmed the Thunderbolts, the new Avengers, the Fantastic Four, they're going to be in Avengers Doomsday. They're all going to go up against Doom. So there's really two things that I think this report means, and if it is the way I think it is, what they're really meaning to say by it's not canon, I actually agree that Marvel should do this.
What about Shang-Chi, bro? Is Shang-Chi canon? I feel like it should be. Like, bro, they gotta put out a whole list of everything that isn't canon, so everybody knows, like, okay, this is the story now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm pretty sure a lot of people have an idea, like, yeah, these shows for sure ain't canon, you know? And I have a little bit of an idea of what shows could be canon, but I just don't want to just say it out, you know, and then they end up not using that as part of the story. So, but I do know Loki 100%. I was like, yeah, that's 100% gonna be canon, bro. That show was a little too big for them not to say it's canon. I'm not gonna lie. But now it makes me wonder, like, is people like Kane coming back? Because Kane died, but now they can bring him back if 4 and 5 don't matter. It didn't happen. So he can come back, bro, or they could just say they didn't kill all of his variants or all of his, you know, all of his projections, whatever they were, bro. They were all of him. But that's why I'm like, bro, it's a lot of characters they can't bring back now. A lot of evil people they can bring back as well, bro. They probably might use it for the next phase, though. That's what I'm thinking. That's probably why they want to delete 4 and 5, so they can use some of these characters for the next phases and not have to talk about how they.
So the first part is basically what I just mentioned. Marvel is going to pick and choose who shows up in Avengers Doomsday, and they'll basically pick the story that they want to tell. And based on this report and other reports that we've heard a lot in the past, very recently, about Captain America returning, it does seem like Marvel Studios is making the story kind of about Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans, Dr. Doom and Captain America. But like I mentioned, of course, Kevin Feige confirmed that these other teams are going to be a part of it, so they'll be in it as well. There are going to be a lot of different teams in Avengers Doomsday, much like there were in Infinity War.
But I really do think they should make a Captain America movie with Peggy, like separate from the Avengers Doomsday. Because I want to see what kind of life he ended up living when he ended up taking a different route. Because I wonder if he went back, did he just go back to stay with her as himself? Or did he, like, when he went back in time, he actually became his younger self before he took the serum? You know what I mean? That's what I'm wondering.
But it seems like the overall story might focus on Steve and Doom. And this basically gives Marvel the opportunity to exclude certain characters and certain groups from the events of Avengers Doomsday. And I think that's what they mean when they say all movies and shows after Endgame are non-canon. I don't think that means all movies and shows. I think it means they're going to pick and choose. Like, I don't think She-Hulk is going to be involved. Even though we did see some concept art of her and Bruce Banner's Hulk for Avengers Secret Wars, I think that might be a character they decide that they don't really want to pursue any more stories with. The same thing goes for characters like Moon Knight, unfortunately. But they could also kind of erase Wanda's story because a lot of people didn't like her as the...
Like, I like those shows, though, because they give us a little insight of some of these characters, but it's the fact that when they put them out, we thinking they putting them out because it's canon, you know, like they trying to introduce these characters and connect them to the story. But in all actuality, now they just like, bro, we might as well just get rid of some of this shit because it ain't gonna be everything, bro. It's gonna be, like he said, they're gonna select the ones that's gonna be canon, but I think majority of the stuff they put out after Endgame is not gonna be canon. Majority. I think the Spider-Man movies gonna be canon. I think Loki gonna be canon. I think Shang-Chi gonna be canon. I think the Black Panther movie is gonna be canon. The one with Shuri as Black Panther. Well, all the Black Panthers, to be honest. Yeah, it's a handful of them, but it's not a lot of them.
And we haven't really heard much about her returning until after Secret War, so maybe that's their plan. But basically, part one is they will choose whoever they want to end up in the story of Avengers Doomsday. We'll get to part two in just a bit, but first, thank you.
At Ralph's,
Thank you to Factor for sponsoring this video. I have really been trying to focus on my health recently, and Factor has been a big help. I've been using Factor for a while now, and not only do they have incredible tasting food, but they have so many different options to help you with your health and lifestyle goals. And now Factor has an even wider selection of weekly meal options, including premium seafood choices like salmon and shrimp at no extra cost. And now they even have Asian-inspired meals with bold flavors from China, Thailand, and more. Instead of spending hours a week meal prepping, Factor arrives fresh and ready to eat, perfect for any active lifestyle. And if you're busy like me, Factor is a game changer. They take the time out of prepping and make it easy to eat healthy. With 45 weekly menu options, you can pick gourmet meals that fit your goals. Choose from calorie.
Hey, Factor, if y'all food good, hit me up. I'll try it out on a video. You feel me? Have a little mukbang and tell you all the real, you know?
Smart, Protein Plus, Keto, and more. All tasting...
Because I ain't gonna lie, bro, for a ganja person like me, you know what I'm saying? Having these ready to cook meals is low-key perfect, you know?
Great. I personally love Italian, and their different pasta options are fantastic. Factor powers your day with satisfying breakfasts, on-the-go lunches, premium dinners, and guilt-free snacks and desserts. They even have wellness shots as well. This summer, make eating healthy easy with Factor. To get started, go to factormeals.com/CosmicWonder50 off and use code CosmicWonder50 off to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. That's code CosmicWonder50 off at factormeals.com/CosmicWonder50 off for 50% off plus free shipping. Now, part 2 is where I think the real kind of erasing happens. And this goes beyond Marvel simply choosing to not include certain characters in the story for Avengers Doomsday, but this is them completely getting rid of these characters. And this comes with the destruction of the multiverse and the creation of Battleworld and or the reset of the MCU. This is where I think they are truly going to define that whatever happened after Avengers Endgame wasn't really a part of the main story that they wanted to tell. And at this point in time, I guess you can't really blame Marvel Studios for...
So you think they was just dropping those just to stay a little relevant? You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, pretty much. You think they was dropping those shows and movies just to stay relevant, just to make sure they didn't go ghost while they were planning on making something big like Avengers Doomsday and Spider-Man 4? Because I could see that, because they made money. You know what I'm saying? They didn't want to stay vacant for too long. You feel me? They are a big company. So if they was to just disappear for a pretty long time, it probably would have hurt them. So that's probably why they were just like, bro, we finna put these out just to keep people occupied. And they probably was already planning way before now. Like, yeah, we going to erase 4 and 5 after, you know, we get to this point. But we just want them to have something to watch until then, you know?
Wanting to do this, because at this point in time they've come out and they've basically said, you know what, yeah, after Avengers Endgame with Phase 4 we were pushed really hard to do Disney Plus shows and we were spread way too thin and our quality started to lack because we were focused on quantity. They admitted to that, and they told us that Kevin Feige, who usually supervised everything, could not really be a part of all of the projects in a good way or a big way, because he was just going to project after project after project talking to people but not getting a lot of time for each project. Now we know that they've changed their ways. Kevin Feige is just over movies now, and they're not making as much movies and shows as before, but also at the same time they ran into problems with the writer strikes, the actor strikes, COVID, then the whole situation with Jonathan Majors. It would make sense that Marvel would want to simply go, you know what, let's just kind of act like that whole phase, that whole period of time, that didn't really happen. But like I mentioned, and this would be my preference, I would rather have them consolidate some of the good stories into the story for Avengers Doomsday, which I do think is going to happen. But then when we get the reset and we go to this new universe, how it's been described is basically like Crisis on Infinite Earths, where a lot of universes get combined into one.
Hey, I'm not gonna lie, bro, I gotta find the DC channel or something, man. I love DC, bro. Like the Flash, bro. I know a lot of people, and I know I'm a little, because we talk about Mark, but I just gotta say this, it's on my mind. You feel me? Flash was a great show, bro. I know a lot of people was like, bro, after season 3, Flash was so trash. Bro, I think after season 3, bro, like, yeah, I understand why people say it's trash, but I think it became more of like a moral lesson. I think that's why a lot of people was kind of like, I don't know, bro. Like now he just got whips and stuff as like, bro, it was a good show, bro. I loved it.
No longer remember the past. They simply only remember the universe that they're on, and history is essentially rewritten, and that's what they're going to do with the MCU.
Bro, this is
and
I
think
so
that's the key to this report. When they rewrite history, which I've theorized might actually happen in Doomsday, they might not wait to Secret Wars to do this, but it could happen in Doomsday. That's when they're going to say, hey, Secret Invasion never happened. Hey, this never happened. This never happened. This movie, this show, they didn't happen. But we will have some characters from the old universe moving on to the new one, and they will remember some of the events of the past, like Iron Man 1, the first Avengers Age of Ultron, and then of course some of the things with Doom, and we know the Fantastic Four are crossing over as well, most likely Spider-Man. This is basically how they erase everything, but they can keep what they want with these characters who will remember the past. Since they remember, that keeps the stories alive, while also at the same time it really does give them a completely new clean slate, a new slate / new universe that now has all of the characters that they could ever hope to use. The X-Men, the Fantastic Four, the Avengers, Spider-Man. It really is a time that myself and I'm sure a lot of people are looking forward to. And it sounds like, yeah, Marvel Studios is basically going to prune what they didn't like about Phase 4 and Phase 5. Let me know what shows and movies you think they'll prune and which ones they'll keep. And let me know which ones you would personally like to see never appear in the MCU again. Don't forget to...
I ain't gonna lie. One that I can think of on the top of my head right now is Madam Web, bro. That was the worst movie I've ever seen from Marvel. Not gonna lie, bro. And if y'all think it's something else worse than that, let it be known in the comments, bro. Because it's possibly that is something else that's worse, bro. And I just missed it. But Madam Web sucked. I think Sony dropped that one though. I'm still blaming Marvel for it though.